Welcome to Future Octave Radio. This is DJ Caution here, and I have a couple of questions I would like to present live to a couple people in particular. If anybody can hear me out there, I'm gonna post this real fast, let people know that I'm on the air on Facebook right now. Those who are friends. It says Future Octave separation between church and state. It's just a question that I pose out there for anybody that's listening today. So this question is actually in particular to someone that I know. And so this is just food for thought. If you guys can hear me, if you guys would like to call me, you guys can. Maybe we can chat. Let me see here. So the question goes like this. Okay, so now this is probably simple for most people, and it should be. It should be real simple. But I pose this question to a particular family member of mine. And the question goes like this. If communism is one man, one law, does that mean Christianity is communism by God's law, one God, one law? Now, if you're watching politics and you keep bringing church and you bring your biblical Democrats are this, the end of the earth. So that means, first of all, are you a communist, if that's how you're thinking? Or do you need to bow down to the Constitution first and read separation of church and state and let that be known? Because if that's the case, I pose this question, actually, it's not even a question, it's a statement. You can't watch a political forum and bring the religious side of it. Can't do it because the Constitution won't allow it. And if you don't respect the Constitution, then you can't be on a political. You can't even enter the political ring. You can't even say anything with church. You can't even think God doesn't belong there because it doesn't. Because it does not belong there. Now, if I want to go talk to God, I go to your forum. You go to a political forum, God doesn't belong there. It just doesn't because it doesn't belong there. So that's the Constitution. That's the American way. If you guys can hear me, if this answers the questions that are, if anybody has anything to say, my number. Let me post it one more time. Anybody can hear me out there? 916-576-9706. Because I keep it real like that, and I ain't got nothing to fear about any of these questions that I'm saying. Just to let people know, I'll send them to a couple inboxes. I don't know whose inbox I want to send it to, but send it to, who can I send it to? Nobody. I'll just post it on Facebook a few more times. But if you guys can hear me out there, just let me know what you guys think. Respond to that question of the day. It says Future Octave separation between church and state question. It's just for all the anybody that wants to know, kind of like a food for thought kind of question I got out there. So for those who can hear me, let me know. So anyways, so I'm over here just sitting here thinking about a few things, and this is more of a live feed. Future Octave Radio will be shortly coming. I know I've been promising that, but it really is coming. I just would like for all the listeners to understand that things aren't what they seem. I have a question out there that really needs to be, I really like an answer for it. I'm a little appalled in the sense of, it's regarding addiction. So let's talk about this question about addiction. Let's keep it honest. Addiction is categorized as a disease. So a question that I pose is this. If it is categorized as a disease, why do people with this particular disease are frowned upon and are looked upon like it's a disgusting thing, or you're treated a certain way? If it's categorized as a disease, shouldn't it be treated as all diseases, people with cancer or not? So first of all, if it is a disease, it has to be diagnosed, and that needs to have a doctor diagnose it. You just can't be like, oh, you're an addict. No, you have to have a diagnosis. So that's if it is a disease. But if it's not a disease, that means it's by choice, which will help which will help because that means it kind of lights a inspiration inside. Okay, I have a choice. Maybe the power of choice. Because sometimes you think you can make the right choice and you just can't get through it. So you're like going to God. You're like, what? I can't win. I can't win. You know, and here's the thing about AA meetings. If you go to AA meetings, you kind of like are in there he is. That's where they're at. So there's a war going on out there, people. And the war is this. Judgmental people. Judgmental Christians, Catholics, whatever they may be. I'm one too. I'm a Christian. But the act of a Christian is one that's what I'm pissed. I'm very pissed. Because let me tell you something. Until you can answer these questions profusely, like logically with a definitive answer, you can't treat people that way. And you can't use that against them as something as a crutch for your slandering. Because if that's the case, then there's something really wrong there. And I pose the question again. And somebody can please call me and then correct me. But as far as I know, it's categorized as a disease. So I'm not trying to use that as an scapegoat because I'm not even saying that I'm looking for an scapegoat. But what I'm looking for is this. I'm looking for an answer to a really hard disease as far as it's categorized. It's hard. It's one of the hardest because one, you're frowned upon and it's a disease. And it's like, if that's the case, I didn't have a choice. I did not have a choice. I didn't have a choice, people, right? If that's what I think a disease is, correct? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. 916-576-9706, or please respond to the live feed, on the questions and stuff. So if you can hear me out there, I am just trying to figure out a couple of questions. The first one is for someone that I hopefully knows that I'm on there. I don't want to put out no names, but it goes something like this again. Okay, so if you're in a political forum, you can't bring your religious, you can't even say anything about religion because the Constitution says that. Separation of church and state. You don't respect it, you do not respect that Constitution, you have no business even speaking in a political venue. So that has to do with TV, has to do with anything. So, but let's just, by that logic of this particular person, if they decide to take their logic to that political forum, here's what I have for you. According to your logic, the definition of communism is one man, one law. So Christianity is one God, one law. The parallels are there's no refuting that. So are you a communist based on what you're doing? So I have to sign off. This is Future Octave Radio with DJ Caution.